This is our Unconstitutional Awakening program.
Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
Brought to you by Kaytlyn, consulting redesign.
Ahoy there, mateys. It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I thank you guys so much for dealing with us throughout Spooky Month and enjoying some of the off subjects that we don't tend to cover too normally. I mean, we touch on them from time to time, of course, but we were focused on them this past month, specifically just for the whole idea of Spooky Month. So things are going to get a little bit back to normal start today. We guys will have we're just going to have some of the regular old crew on here and catch up on some current events and some news and maybe some other unfounded things we haven't really talked about recently. So we appreciate all you guys out there listening and watching and keeping in tune over there and at like Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey and listening all around the world and all the audio podcast streaming platforms that we're covered on and such. We thank you guys so much. And of course, everybody out there, if this is your first time or even if it's not, you guys make sure you hop on back to unconstitutionalawakening.com. And there you guys can find all the fantabulous things that we got going on from the episodes of the show to the hosts and how to get back to their social medias, even links back to our social medias like on Facebook at Captain Conspiracy and the Freedom Pirates, and where you can find us on Instagram and Twitter, even YouTube for some of us and such. Of course, it's got links to get back to everything like that, and links to get back to where you can listen to us. You can even listen to us right there on the page. And there is a fantastic link you can click right there to get you some of this awesome Unconstitutional Awakening merch. We've got shirts and many other things galore. You guys just can go and check that out and help support the show as well as supporting the show by checking out our sponsors, like my buddy Kirk Elliott over there, Peachy Key Creations with her energy healing and her natural made soaps and candles, Ammo Can Survival, taking care of your first aid and even your plate carrier needs, as well as Brett Pike and Homeschools Connected with ClassicalLearner.com. And the Cubs to Bears books. And you can get all those links right there on our website, unconstitutionalawakening.com. Of course, I can't say it enough. I thank each and every one of you out there listening and checking us out and making us number one, man. We're doing real well, we think. We're just going to keep on trucking and keep on bringing you guys all this fantabulous information that we love to share with you guys. So tonight I've got my big old candy bucket from our gracious Halloween we've been hanging out with. And we're just going to dive right into things tonight, you guys, and have some good old-fashioned, unbiased conversation about some great things. So stay tuned, and we shall continue with everything going on. So, of course, as I said, the guys this evening, it was just going to be some of the main crew here joining me this evening. We're going to catch up on some stuff since we've been on our spooky hiatus. So yeah, I got Luis, Kaytlyn, and Bandit with me tonight, and just right before I hit the button, we were talking about the exciting things going on over there in the Pelosi household this past week. So, for those who don't know, apparently they found Pelosi's husband and this intruder both in their underwear fighting over a hammer. So that begs the question: what the hell were they doing in their underwear?
And why was the glass broken from the inside out? How do you break in from the inside?
Like why? No. Listen, I've broken a few windows in my lifetime, and the glass doesn't come out.
You don't use your psychic powers to pull the glass inward.
The glass follows the momentum of the striking object. It would go inside, you know? And how
physics?
Yeah, they stated all of the security. There's no security cam footage because they all malfunctioned at the same time.
Oh, wait. Wait. Did they really push that line? Did they say that? Did they say
there's no
one of
security?
The richest members of Congress have dysfunctional security cameras. Did they really just say that?
And they're trying to say that
also the neighbors. Also, all the neighbors have cameras. Like, are you kidding me? This is a very
trying to say he snuck in.
He didn't sneak in. He was invited in. He said friend.
I know.
Did you hear
but
the 911?
I'm saying they want to say
that you have it.
They want to say intruder, but how do you break into a house that has 24/7 personal security by the California Highway Patrol, the San Francisco City Police, and don't give me any fucking shit about there not being Secret Service there?
Oh, 100% Pelosi.
The
third in line to the president. I mean, that's the simplest argument. Third in line to the presidency of the United States, the empire of the planet. This woman was assaulted. Potentially, her safety was assaulted by a male prostitute.
They're federally charging him now. They're trying to federally make a federal case and charge him.
All this shit's gonna fall apart. They're just doing this for the election.
100% this is gonna fall apart. They're trying to bury this as deep as it'll go.
Did you hear that they're making the story worse? They're saying now that he was planning to attack multiple people. I heard this. I was like, let me listen to today's nonsense. They were like, oh yeah, he was planning to attack multiple. Oh yeah, this is the 911 phone call. This like TMZ. The people at TMZ are probably like, this gay piece of shit. And I say gay in the sense that, why are you hiding it? Like, aren't you all progressive? Like, let's be clear. I'm all for the gay community, like, but what the fuck's wrong with you, Pelosi? Like,
why don't they just admit? I mean, just admit that you're into some kinky shit involving your underwear and hammers. Just admit it. They were hammering their meat. They were hammering their meat at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, some of them cannot.
RP stated that there's a male in the home and that he's going to wait for his wife. RP stated that he doesn't know who the male is, but he advised that his name is David and that he is a friend. RP sounded somewhat confused. 12 over back and copy.
Units code 3 for 14 hours.
Cover 12 over copy. 15 hour also code 3.
Cover 112 advice insufficient units on scene. Special call medic 66, location.
Evidence, case closed. They didn't break in.
Yeah.
It's not some of them can't admit that they are gay. Like, some of them have contracts that say that they can't be openly gay.
Well, there are many members of Congress and Senate that are gay. Like,
that's
like it's okay. Hell, but say it out loud. Like, Lindsey Graham is the most closeted gay man that hates the gays that has ever lived in the world. Like, I don't know why Lindsey Graham constantly pushes anti-gay shit when he's gay.
Sounds like Hoover.
Like, so, what this is going to come out as?
Oh, look, Lindsey Graham's right there. Look, Lindsey Graham. Speaking of the little piece of shit.
A dispute that turned physical, and they're trying to cover it up. You know, they're trying to cover up that the Speaker of the House's husband hired a gay prostitute, and it turned their consensual encounter turned violent. They're trying to cover it up. 100%, they're trying to cover it up.
Or maybe like somebody walked in on them and caused the scene.
Yeah, because didn't they say? You're right, because didn't they say somebody, there was a third person, there was the police got let into the house by a mystery person?
So there's a third person. That
there was somebody there.
I mean, first of all, why was he in his underwear? Let's just, like, it's pretty obvious. Why are you in your underwear? Why are both of them in their underwear?
Yeah, with a hammer. Where did that hammer come from?
Did you see the GP Prime art? Jim Bob, GP Prime on Instagram. There's a beautiful piece of art he created. Let me find it.
Is it something you sent me?
I'll send it to you. I think I might have sent it to GB Prime. It's hilarious.
It's just, I mean, there's just been so many things coming out left and right. It's almost like they're just trying too hard to cover it up at this point. Like, just admit what it was and let's move on, boys and girls. You know, y'all had a.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, there's no kink shaming here. Just say the truth.
Yeah.
Just say the truth.
We'll just shrug our shoulders and go about our day, you know? Oh, so the speaker's husband is into some weird shit. So what? Go on.
I mean, look at who the speaker is. Don't you think he'd probably be into some weird shit? Would you really want to be on the other end of that?
I don't want. Nope. We're not going there with Nancy and Paul doing weird shit. Okay.
So he was getting investigated. Well, first of all, the trial was coming in related to the drunk driving.
Yeah.
One.
Interesting.
Number two, he was getting investigated for all the insider trading that he was doing for Nancy.
No coincidence.
He's 82, but you know, with all the children's blood, they're younger. So
Louise, isn't insider trading illegal?
No coincidences.
Not for members of Congress. Members of Congress can do insider
rules
trading.
For thee, not for me.
Yep. Of course. You are a plebeian. You have no rights. You're just a pawn in the system.
So to kind of bounce this a little bit, thinking of that rules for me, not for thee, or rules. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of that, I had something interesting brought to my attention today, and I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention because I was like, whoa, I did not know this, and I think something should be done about this. Are you guys familiar with this fella from TikTok, Cracker?
Yes.
You know, he makes all these food TikToks and stuff like that. And,
good stuff, man.
right. Okay, well, it turns out that's a persona. And I want to share this with you guys because I found this earlier, and I'll let you guys watch it. It's a small 3-minute video, but I want you guys to watch this because this kind of blew my mind a little bit, and I think it's extremely important.
Please no, don't.
Justin Chasson is a social media sensation.
Quit wasting that beer.
What?
He goes by the name Stale Cracker.
Got that brown down. Them on y'all are doing on y'all do. Hit it with the 2-step.
Unknown to the public until now, he's also the state trooper who was on a boat on a bayou in Assumption Parish in July when the person driving smashed into another boat, injuring a passenger. Jody Sheets' boat was the one that was hit.
It was the scariest moment in my life because we saw the vessel coming, and it was almost just like I could see his face, and it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it was in slow motion but very fast at the same time. And in my brain, all I could think about was I have 9 people on this boat, and if we all fly out, how am I going to get all of them back on the boat and them not drown?
The boat that hit Sheets had 2 people on board, Brian Nolan and Chasson.
One of the passengers on my boat hollered out to them, "Are y'all drunk?"
They quickly got the boat out of the water and tried to drive away, but an off-duty Assumption deputy managed to get Wildlife and Fisheries and other law enforcement en route. They intercepted the duo on the road. The WBRZ investigative unit confirmed Chasson never made a 911 call to report the wreck or ask for help.
That's another twist.
I just want to throw in there that it's also mentioned in the news report, which I will share the article, that the officer was not arrested when they caught up to him. He was escorted home by the other officers since he was almost there. And yes, it is likely he was still intoxicated.
State Police Colonel Lamar Davis sitting down with us this week to talk about it.
Once we reinitiated our administrative investigation, we saw fit to put Trooper Chasson on leave, and that's where it's at now. So we're continuing. We're
paid leave, according to the article that I'm going to share with you guys.
About to conclude our administrative investigation. We will go to our disciplinary review panel for review, and then from there we will make our decision on this.
AKA, we're going to investigate ourselves and probably find that we did nothing wrong.
Discipline or any discipline thereof.
The wreck occurred in July, but the trooper wasn't put on leave until October.
Can you explain that time discrepancy?
Again, we checked with when other agencies are conducting those investigations, we're not going to conduct parallel criminal investigations. They are the lead on that investigation. If there is no information to indicate that he is a threat to the public at that particular point in time, then that's the information we use. And if there is no information, then we keep him on duty.
Davis says their investigation will be wrapping up soon, and Chasson could face discipline for not upholding his oath to protect and serve. Sheets, a strong supporter of law enforcement, says this situation has made her second-guess special favors that are given to certain people.
If that trooper would have been on his boat with his wife and his children's friends, and I would have left the scene and taken the vessel out of the water and was on the road in a getaway truck, and I would have been stopped, I would have been put in jail that night. There's no doubt in my mind.
The driver of that boat is scheduled to be arraigned next week. Chasson has millions of followers on social media, with most of them not knowing he's a Louisiana state trooper. His case could be handed over.
5.9 million followers, to be exact, because I'll take you back over to the page right quick. This is the fella right here, who portrays himself as, this bayou cooking fellow, and I'm pretty sure no one, up until very recently, had any idea that this was a cop, let alone one that has done such a thing.
Which, in the scale of bad cops, it's low, but still unacceptable that the state obviously didn't do anything about it, and also his friends colluded with him.
It's the fact that if she would have done the same thing to him, they would have initiated a police chase, run her down, and forcefully handcuffed her, and thrown her in jail immediately that night.
They would have put her in a car in the train tracks and let the train run.
Oh, Jesus. Yes. And not only that, they would have impounded her vehicle and the boat permanently.
Yeah. They would have ended up seizing it.
Yeah, they would have seized everything used in the commission of that crime.
And because he was a cop, she would have been drugged through every inch of the law that they could have found.
Yes. That would have been assault on a police officer and attempted murder of a police officer. They would have gotten her for every alcohol-related crime, fleeing the scene of an accident, everything. They would have thrown she would have gone to prison for 20 to life.
And at the most, this guy is going to get points on his bond and maybe get discharged from that specific unit
with retirement money.
And then he'll go be a police officer somewhere else in Louisiana.
Yeah. I think in a situation like this, I'm sorry, they as someone who is supposed to be a representative of the state, you should be held to a higher standard than anyone else. Personally, this is my point of view. And because of that, I think that he should not be able to become an officer again.
The bare minimum is you're no longer a cop and you can never be a cop again.
Period.
Yeah. He should be allowed to be sued.
He should be tried just like anybody else would be tried in that situation. I'm sorry.
I mean, we're not
you're going to lose your license and get sued. That's exactly what should happen to him.
Qualified immunity needs to go away. What state took off qualified immunity? I forgot.
Colorado.
One state doing the right thing. Yeah. Oh, by the way, those cops are fucked then. If qualified immunity is over in the case of the cops that left that woman inside of the car, and let the train just almost kill her.
Well, I mean, that also goes right
Jesus,
on this. Dude. It's come out that there was videos from inside of Uvalde, and those cops really were trash. No. I'm dragging every cop that's done something stupid.
No. I don't want to. It has nothing to do with the cops. I don't want to think about Uvalde. That thing is like that.
But it does.
That's infuriating things to.
I understand, but to me, it's the same situation. Just like the one up there that Luis keeps mentioning. I don't know if you guys have seen that. If I can find the video real quick, I will.
She is going to possibly be awarded
car, and it got hit by a train.
She is possibly
department by the end.
She is possibly going to be awarded the highest amount ever from a.
It's probably going to be 50 to 80 million minimum.
Yep.
She's going to destroy that department. She's going to bankrupt them. I hope she does.
Good. And I hope
that department.
And I hope that kid's family in San Antonio, I hope they bankrupt that police department too. The one that was eating the McDonald's hamburger and got gunned down.
Yep. Well,
that was so ridiculous.
This is the young lady.
That's it. She was in the car. Name. He could have just uncuffed her and took her out of the car.
Yeah,
drug her out. He could have dragged
her out. Just go on the other side real quick. Drag her out. That's it.
They have no.
This is when they were digging through the car and you can hear the train going off.
Yep.
Like, and they're over there. And
there's a cop right behind her. They just opened the door and let her out.
Yep.
You see, there's time. There's enough time. There's enough time.
That just showed
right there.
Look at him. Look at him hesitate.
He had plenty of time to let her out.
They only care about themselves.
But what? By the way, did you notice he had a long gun? Like what? Yeah. For an unarmed woman that had, I believe she also didn't have any. Like she had it. I think
nothing
wrong with her.
Nothing.
She didn't do anything.
They were profiling and pulled her over.
Because they thought she tossed something out the window.
Yeah, that's their excuse.
Yep.
Well, that's going to fly well in a state that qualified immunity is over.
And let's talk about those 5 officers in Denver, or those officers in Denver during that. They opened fire on that guy and wounded 5 innocent people in a crowd.
Or the ones that killed the guy that saved everybody.
It's up to 6 bystanders now.
Oh man,
but you guys know also about that guy that stopped a shooter.
The shooter he got gunned down by the cops when the cops showed up.
When he was the hero.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, this is the one about the 6 bystanders injured after officers fired at a man who flashed a gun.
So that happened in New York City. Look up Empire State building shooting. And so they were just following the guy, and for some reason the cops had the idea, let's shoot at him. Like your brain just melts. I'm like, this is not GTA. Like,
what goes through your head?
Shooting. Like, you're a cop. What the fuck are you doing shooting?
Indiscriminately. Yep.
Yeah, it was just opening fire like that. Like I don't know. Like I'm a big advocate against qualified immunity and such. Like again, like I mentioned a little bit ago, like I think as a representative of the state that they should be held to a higher standard than you and me. You know what I'm saying? Like their shit shouldn't smell and they should be white gloved constantly. Like look at how many officers use and plan drugs. You know, I can give examples.
Video evidence. There's videos out there.
I can give examples of cops that were ran out of certain counties because they were caught planting drugs, and then hired by the next county over as the head of task force.
Our sheriff, his name was Sheriff Peggy, he was sheriff for like, I don't know, 15 years. Huge cocaine business. Huge. And still, after he was voted out of office.
In a town I used to live in, there was a sheriff that had been sheriff there for going on, 15 plus years. And it turned out, this is years ago, but I remember when he actually died while still being sheriff. He got hit by a car, complete accident. It was actually one of them, like another officer from what I was told, that hit him during like a traffic stop thing. But he was busted out by the next sheriff coming in. A bunch of the people that worked under him and stuff were taking things out of the evidence room and putting it back on the streets.
Your brain
starts reelected over and over and over and over.
What did you guys know that the mayor of DC was caught smoking crack?
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I mean, look,
and see, we're
catch him already smoking crack, and you want to reelect him. Hey, go right ahead. You have the right.
And we're
to do
talking
that.
about
what the hell?
When it's not just law enforcement that are guilty of the rules for thee, not for me. It's politicians, period, too. You know?
You
And
remember
their
that
sons.
whistleblower that came out about Obama in the limo?
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about?
Obama,
There's
what?
this, yeah, there's this whistleblower that came out and like, if you look, I don't know what the name of the video is. I would just look up whistleblower talks about Obama giving him fellatio, and
Oh,
he's
that's
like, yeah, standing at like a podium and stuff, saying like testify, like giving an actual statement that he smoked crack with Obama. Yeah,
Yeah,
Good
Obama's
God.
bi and
and
did
did
shit.
everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's not even in his 20s,
but
though.
smoked crack with him. Yeah.
I mean, Obama confessed also to doing drugs, so it's not like
He confessed to smoking weed.
No,
That's not
he said no. He said he did cocaine.
Oh,
Obama said he
that
did.
crack cocaine is a gimme.
Oh, crack cocaine is an extreme version, but I
Yep.
guess he was kind of telling the truth. I mean, cocaine and crack technically.
They tend to go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Check Jim. Check out that one. The two link. The first one is the image I was telling you about, and then the other one is somebody escaping the cops. You have to watch it. It's incredible.
Oh, is that the one where he jumps out the window?
No, well, you'll see. It's in the
This?
train.
The image.
Yeah, look at that.
This is great, actually.
I mean, look at the chest.
Black Cloud. Good God.
Now check out that link. Turn off the audio probably, but check out that link. The other one. This is in New York City. This happened, I think, relatively recently, or at least I saw it recently. Oh, it's not. It's from 2019, but still, this is insane. So this is on top of a building. That's the train. So they follow them to that point. Here we go. That's the staircase. This is, I believe, this is in Brooklyn. I believe this was in Brooklyn. Oh, there's another one that exactly he runs away from the cops. I thought it was this one. He runs away from the cops, then runs away from the cops. Like he keeps on running, and the cops were like giving up because they were like they couldn't follow him. But like cops, they're useless in some places, and it's ridiculous.
They're gonna show up 30 minutes later with their little notebook, and they're gonna write down a couple notes, and then never do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing will ever come of anything. It's
They're
always
revenue
like,
generators is all they are. That's it. That's their only job is to generate revenue. They have no obligation to solve any crimes whatsoever. What did we talk about this? We talked about this. How many unsolved murders are in the United States right now? Almost 500,000.
The majority of murders in this country go unsolved.
Yep.
And then, I mean, don't get me started on how many untested rape kits are in police stations across this country.
They have no obligation to solve a crime. Their only job is to generate revenue. That's it.
Even the Supreme Court said that they have no duty to protect you. Like that's not what they're there for.
Nope.
So it's time to stop. I don't know. It's
time to stop glorifying them.
Yeah,
really is. It's time to stop glorifying them.
I understand in some situations with you being in the world that you are that you've had to use them for instances of things. And I'm not saying that there hasn't been times where it's been handy for people like maybe yourself or whatever in your line of work, but as far as people like me, people find this hard to believe, but apparently I fit a profile. I used to fit a profile even more so when I had really long hair. And I have been pulled over countless times and drugged through the woodwork, including at the Canadian-New York state line, for nothing. Absolutely nothing. And they've stripped my car, left me on the side of the road.
Police profile people other than
yes.
That the idea that police are only profiling black people is ridiculous. They profile everybody. They are trained to profile everybody in different ways. Yep. I mean, I have been stopped by the cops countless times.
I'm sure.
I've had very ridiculous situations. The weirdest one was leaving school, my high school. I'm just leaving it, and the cops stopped me, and they want to search my car. 3 p.m.
They use that all the time.
3 p.m. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm just leaving school. What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on? Why do you want to even search my car? I should have not even let them in because that was so
Or,
sketch
like,
that they were
people-
being that asshole, like that level of asshole. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
We used to actually have a saying in high school, like if we passed a cop, you know, we were going one way and the cop was coming another, it'd say hats off, music down. And every
Oh, yeah,
boy in the
that's-
class put your hats
that's
off.
super
and music
important.
down.
If you're driving, take off your hat. I once noticed, I'm dead serious. I once noticed in one day, 6 cars stopped. The only thing they had in common, they all were wearing hats. I have noticed systematically cops stop people that wear hats while in cars.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, that is a profiling element that they do from far away because of the urban element of wearing a hat while driving. So they can use that as this weird like whistle, like to, oh, well, they're wearing a hat. They might be a part of a gang. Let's stop them. Da, da, da.
And, you know, this was like 2010, 2011. So it was, you know, all fitted hat. Straight fitted hat.
You're right.
Yeah.
It is a
That's
profile.
exactly
It is an element of profiling. So it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Latino, any color you want. They're
Yeah.
looking at your hat. I told my friend, and he was like, "Shit, you got a
Yeah.
point." he realized, and he drives like a $90,000 Benz, and I'm like, "Take off your hat, and you'll never be stopped."
I always did, and we never got pulled.
So this actually brings up a really good point, and it kind of goes into something else I wanted to talk about tonight. When speaking about law enforcement, you don't want to forget what they put people through during the COVID lockdowns, the most asinine shit in the world. And that whole article is multiple articles are making their rounds on the internet right now, where basically the government is just like, let's call a truce and forgive and forget about what we did to people during the pandemic.
Oh, they are the Atlantic article you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, we should pull that up. The
Yeah, I'm
Atlantic.
trying to find it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Please forgive and forget what we realize we screwed up and we did some terrible things to you guys.
Please forget me for destroying your life. Please forgive me. Please forgive me
No,
for making
we-
children become suicidal. Please forgive me for injecting you with experimental technology that had no bearing in reality. Please
We
forgive
don't
me.
forget. You know, we won't forget.
No, all these people should go to jail. Like the minimum, all these
Oh,
politicians
there it
need
is,
to
the
do
Atlantic.
is quit.
I found it.
The Atlantic article, yeah. They need to
Jail?
quit.
No.
No. The minimum we all require
Yes.
is they quit.
Yes,
They need
minimum
jail.
quit.
Minimum quit. Get
Let's
out of politics.
declare a pandemic amnesty.
This woman
Listen
is
here, Emily
gonna get
Oster.
so much flack for this. I don't know what she was thinking. She's inside the cult. She has to be inside the cult mindset. There's
But this
no
actually-
way in hell you write this.
I'm kind of glad
without
you
being
brought this up, Bandit, because, you know, currently, if you're looking around at other things, like just last week, the judge tossed the NYC COVID vaccine mandate and ordered all.
They're reinstating
Yes.
everybody, giving payback, full pay to everybody. So full back pay. So
Yeah.
they're getting paid for not working.
Yep.
They're getting all the monies back. This is firefighters. This is like medical health professionals. This is police officers. They fired a fuck ton of police officers. New York is now in the 70s by my friend's perspective. Like nobody here wants to get on the subway.
Not to
anymore,
mention
okay?
things like this as well. The
Oh,
following
that's
day.
that's the first one. There's gonna be
That's going to keep going. That's going to keep going and going and going, and I hope it does.
Oh, it's gonna be 77 billion by next year, and it's gonna be 300 billion in a few years.
But I mean, at this point, like, folks, stop. You know, I still occasionally, don't get me wrong, and I live in the sticks and bumfucked Egypt, but like, don't get me wrong. Occasionally, I still run across that lonely person sitting in their car, double masked,
Yeah.
at the red light, and I'm still astonished. Like
No,
you're a lost
I will
cause.
give it. There are people that are sick, and it's okay if they're sick and they're worried.
Protect the vulnerable, but never
When you're sick.
never forget of the people that couldn't be by the side of their dying parents. Never forget the men that could not be with their wives giving birth, their grandparents dying, family members dying in the hospital. Never forget force masking your kids in school. Never forget the ridiculous arrows in the grocery stores. That in some states,
those I've still seen. But did anybody that still has their children in public school get letters about not letting your kids wear Halloween masks to school because it's distracting?
I didn't get that.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is the most.
Nobody understands the irony of that.
There's a very big problem that people are now realizing: miscarriage rates and death and stillbirths and just
spiked.
But okay, so if you didn't know, because we had a conversation about this before about life expectancy.
Right.
Before 2019, the highest amount of deaths occurred at close to birth and after your 40s and 50s. We are getting spikes beyond that. So hospitals all over the country, babies are not being born, miscarriages are all-time highs. And this is very likely connected to something a lot of people took in their veins and in their arms. They bravely took out their arms and got some shit put into them. Never read anything. Did you know that the pharmacies had no paperwork on those shots?
Yeah,
correct.
Yep.
They were blank. There was nothing on them.
And that was true, not a conspiracy. And I remember when that was going
no conspiracy
around,
here. There's no theory. There's no theory. It was exactly what happened.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember that, coming up, and I even got to, I experienced some interesting things with that too, with us having a child during that whole heat of stuff, and them attempting to extort my wife by threatening to take her baby if she didn't cooperate.
What happened?
They said that if she didn't cooperate, mask up, and take a test, then they would have to separate her and the baby until they knew that both were clear.
Clear of what?
Of COVID.
After giving birth?
Yes.
Were these people trained in medicine or stupidity school?
They claim to be the nurses of a hospital in Rockdale County, Georgia, where I chose to have a child.
And you gotta never go back to the hospital ever again in your life, Jimmy.
That's for sure. Like that.
Yeah, those are not people that study medicine. Those are absolute morons that should not be in the medical profession and should be fired and never allowed to do anything in the medical industry ever again. They're stupid. They're just stupid.
And it should be like that across the board with all the ones that did do things like that, because I don't think I'm the only person who experienced similar things, whether it be kid being born or family member dying like Bandit.
You want to hear a real conspiracy? Medical debt for doctors and nurses. How do you control them? Easy. You load them up with debt so high up to the sky that if they get fired from their hospital, they're dead in the water. They have 400,000, 500,000 worth of debt. You think they're going to talk back against the hospital? They're not, because they need to keep their jobs. Because if not, they can't pay their insane loans. So how do you control the doctors? You push so much debt on them that they have to be slaves of the system. So the answer to what the fuck happened in the United States is that they were so high in debt that they had no choice because the hospital would fire them.
So more extortion from what it sounds like from my perspective, basically.
And that's what happened. A lot of doctors said that they were actively being extorted. I actually have a friend she's a doctor and she hated the whole thing. She's independent, so she's able to be independent, but with some doctors, she can't stand them. She's disgusted by them. She can't understand how the hell they didn't fucking read. They didn't read. They read some studies and then thought that was enough. They didn't know that this was a progressively, constantly changing situation. Every month, things changed. When the vaccine came out, the reason I had suspicion was very simple. 95% efficacy.
But then you get things like the truth cops popping up.
There you go.
You know, and they've already attempted this once, and it didn't work very well. But it looks like they're trying again.
The government said that this is Russian disinformation, just like the Biden.
Yeah.
Well, we all know how that turned out.
Yeah, this is Russian disinformation.
Well, basically, it looks like again they're trying to, curb dangerous speech, as they say, and basically put a
and Facebook and Twitter weren't in on it.
Yeah, and basically put a truth group in charge of things behind the scenes.
They've tried the Ministry of Truth.
I remember that.
I love the Twitter handle, the Ministry of Disinformation.
I follow them. They're hilarious, man. But it's what did Jacinda, what's her face from Horseface from New Zealand, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, say about all of this?
She is part of it.
Yeah, if you don't get your information from the government, it's a lie. That's exactly what she said in a press conference.
It is very sad a country that progressive in so many good ways had such a horrible leader.
She is like
exactly
peak.
Any information you get from the government.
You question it. Wait,
automatically
all grew up questioning. If you don't question the government, like obviously it's called healthy skepticism in relationship to certain topics. Do I question the government in relationship to murder stats? I mean, who else can keep them? So those are like, there are things like crimes that there are things that you kind of don't question, like certain stats, but can they be altered by people in government? That's 100%. Happening in New York. The New York crime rate is through the roof. You know, one of the tricks of why the crime doesn't look as high as it does, what's the trick? Guess why they did all they did in California and Seattle and Portland? When they converted what were felonies into misdemeanors, they then don't show up on those stats. So in reality, it's sky high. Crime's never been higher in these places. They're not like, oh, they're not as bad. No. They are. They're worse than ever. It's not the news. I'm seeing it. Like,
or they'll show per capita.
Dude, like there's murders every other moment everywhere around New York. This is getting insane.
Chicago,
nobody wants to go out. Nobody wants to get on the train. Everybody I know, nobody wants to get on the train at night. Nobody wants to get on the train alone. Everybody's very scared now. Like, I am not joking. I am not being hyperbole. Everybody's fucking scared, and I get it. At any moment, a random person can come and fucking try to kill you. And there's cops now in almost every train, by the way. Like the 70s. There's cops everywhere.
That still wouldn't make me feel very safe.
I can tell you what makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
You can't in New York.
I know. But see, the thing is, I saw an interesting video
anywhere if you're not a pussy.
Floating around on Twitter of Philly in Philadelphia in traffic, a roving band of individuals on four-wheelers, and they were harassing this couple in this SUV, coming up on the passenger side door while driving and trying to open the passenger side door in traffic while they were driving, and then they were aggressively like swerving at her. I drive a big shitbox Dodge Ram. I would do
is and they're
I would run them over. You come, and that's probably before after I open fire.
I believe you're allowed to do that in the case of vehicular attacks. It's just so rare, but I believe you're allowed to attack them if they're attacking you.
Yeah, they would only
attack
do
them with
this
a car.
in they would only do this in Philly traffic. I think they would ever try this in a rural area like rural Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama.
They would get shot.
They get run over.
Yeah, listen, you try this in Georgia, you'll get shot. I have seen many guns on the interstate.
It'll be, the dude in the pickup truck behind you helping you out is going to run them over.
Yeah.
They're only going to do shit like that in Philly or Chicago.
And not to mention down here, you got truckers. I'll tell you what, truckers are like the guides of the highway, and they will real quick shut down somebody doing some shit like that.
Remember that Chicago guy that had a shotgun in a Florida store, and he was detained and arrested because the guy in the store said, "Not here, buddy."
Yeah, blew his arm off. And he shoot his arm off?
Not sure if he shot him.
He came in with a rifle and tried to rob the store.
That's the one in New York, I think you were talking about, where they were going to charge the guy for shooting him.
No. So there's so many stories now. Maybe that's So there is a case in New York. Check this bullshit out. This older man, my friend lived by that place. She went to that place. This older
the bodega stabbing, right?
The bodega stabbing. The bodega owner was getting pummeled by this 6 foot tall, 6'4" guy. Bung, bung, bung. The guy pulled a knife from under him and started defending himself. What is a 60-plus-year-old man going to do against a guy punching him to death?
Right.
The guy that was getting punched went to Rikers because they denied bail to him.
That was
Andy
because
turned off his GoFundMe.
Yeah, your state DA is a piece of shit, wasn't he? I don't think he. I think
a district attorney is the criminal.
Yeah,
this is when we're talking about right here.
Yeah.
Look at him! Look at him! He's like an entire foot and a half taller than him.
Like,
he's not. Look, he's trying to de-escalate by just not doing anything.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to show it.
And it was at this moment he knew.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
Yeah. That would have been perfect.
The other guy's dead. The girlfriend was outside. So what you don't see is the girlfriend is on the outside of that space. So what's happening is those bodegas have an actual barrier, like a bulletproof Lexan barrier. If you've ever been to the rough areas, to those that don't or have never seen it, to that person in Budapest that has never seen
Yes,
armored bodegas.
I used to work in an
stores.
8x8 armored bodega in South Buffalo.
It's so look. The first time I saw that, I was in Puerto. So I never saw that until I moved to Puerto Rico. I mean, from Puerto Rico, I never saw that here. So in Puerto Rico, it doesn't exist. When I came here and I started seeing a few of it, but District 9 was the first time I actually saw it in ever in my life. Good movie. District 9, which is a good movie, and it is a criticism of really fucked up shit that happens in Johannesburg, especially the people that actually hunt down albinos to eat them.
Yes.
But in the story, it's hunting down aliens.
Yep.
But in real life, it's a criticism of real people hunting down albinos because of the magical properties of albinos.
Yep.
This is some crazy shit. Also in South Africa, they hunt down white people. And the level of crazy that's happening there is insane. There's also a social tier system in South Africa. I was speaking to a South African the other day, and he told me there's a 4-scale tier system. South African blacks are number 1, and then there's certain other indigenous groups, but whites are at the bottom with foreigners. Chinese are number 2 though.
Oh,
the Chinese have a higher status than almost everybody else.
That's interesting.
Chinese I think they're 2 to 1 depending on their status. Yeah, the Chinese are almost the same status as a native South African. So yeah, it's insanity just follows everywhere, and racism can happen in any direction.
Yeah, it really can.
Apartheid wasn't right, but neither is this. You don't fix something bad with another bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, guys.
We've run into. No. You know, I think we were getting ready to get close to wrapping up this evening. So, Kaytlyn, you got anything last you want to add before you sign out for us?
No.
Luis, you got anything for us this evening? Before we...
I hope soon. I really hope soon, because nobody likes her, that we get a new governor.
Oh, dude,
nobody.
That's neck and nut. It's neck and neck,
I know
right?
nobody in New York except one crazy lunatic that's gonna vote for her.
Isn't it neck and neck right now, or did he pull ahead?
He's pulling ahead.
Oh man, and he's Republican too, isn't he?
Interesting.
Yeah, Led Zeppelin. Oh, wait, let me show you something real quick. Wait, I'm gonna show you the political ads.
Sure.
Yeah.
Are the ones that are English and Spanish that you're receiving? Or is that?
Oh my god! Do you know how many of those things I get hanging on my doorknobs every day now? Oh, we're stuck in my door now because of midterms here.
Let's wait 1 second. So you gotta read this. Wait, let me change the view. 1 second.
I've got you pulled up.
Yeah, no, I just gotta change the orientation. Come on, stupid camera. I'm just because I want you to be able to read it.
We can read it.
Yeah, I got you full.
You're on full screen.
I put you on full screen.
No, but it's reversed right now.
No,
it's not on my end. It's not.
No, it's not.
Oh,
it's
okay.
not on mine.
So, this is Hochul's ad. If you can read it.
Oh my god, are you serious, dude?
Yes, and then this is what everybody else got.
Wow.
So this is the counter to this.
Oh,
that's brutal.
That's. You know, I seen some funny stuff about that when the New York Post got hacked last week. You know?
I hope this guy wins.
I hope you guys go and check stuff out about that.
I don't support because I don't know his politics, but anything that's not like a turd sandwich could do better than that crazy woman. So I support a turd sandwich. If lead is a turd sandwich, I'm supporting the turd sandwich. That's it.
Hey.
That's all we have right now.
Reverses some of the policies. Just start reversing policies and do executive actions. They can do a lot of changes real quick, and then they force it to go into arbitration in the state. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Bandit, you got anything before we get ready to head out?
I know I have. I got one thing right before we close out here.
Yeah.
Some new things that have air raid sirens are going on in South Korea right now because of North Korea firing missiles at possibly some South Korean forces. And they have officially announced U.S. boots are on the ground in Ukraine right now.
I'm waiting for you to bring that up.
It's going to get very interesting here. It's just right now they are just what they are is inspectors, but they're U.S. military inspectors.
Mm-hmm.
There to inspect U.S. military equipment that is there. But my problem with that is they have civilian contractors that do that.
Interesting.
So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting coming up. What's going to happen with this? So
yeah,
I saw it coming from a mile away, but didn't actually think it would happen. Honestly.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we're gonna see where we're definitely here trying to keep up with the unfolding stuff, of course, you guys, and you know we'll be back into a regular schedule now. The spooky month's over. We're bringing you guys all the good stuff you like and all the news you're not really hearing about, of course. And so I appreciate you three joining me this evening to get ourselves kicked back up and going. I've had a blast trying to cover some of this stuff tonight. And we thank all you guys out there listening and watching, of course. And before I sign out, I've got to leave you guys with something good to think about. So, what do pirates wear when it gets really cold?
Long
johns. Good night, everyone. We'll talk to you again.